All
Go for it.
right. Welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We're going to be picking up where we left off last week. We are with the Pirate Travelers, and they have, they've gone through some things. They were on Marduk Highport when Oghma raiders attacked, and oddly enough, they were at Oghma Highport looking for um, the Administrator Oleus, who is a lord of one of the domes down on the planet, and she had mentioned to them a month or so earlier, well, probably about 2 months earlier, that one there was an Augman raid on Marduk, and her assistant was kidnapped, and she seems very distraught and wants her assistant back. And so that's why these guys were there, and just so happens that the high port was hit by Augman raiders, and they made it through, but the raiders took a whole bunch of equipment and quite a few slaves and made off with them. And they were hired by a GeDeCo executive named Riga Holloway, and she wants them to take her assistant, Elena Markovoy, to the GeDeCo starport uh, in the Oghma system to relate an account of the events and to get as much information as possible. And she's offering a bonus. She's going to pay them for this, and she's going to offer a bonus if they can go down to the planet and retrieve some of these people that were kidnapped and help Eloise, whatever, um, get her assistant back. So that's where we will be picking up. Before we get started, we would like to bring up that we do have a merchant store via Zazzle. We've got hoodies and T-shirts and buttons, and the one of the T-shirts and buttons has the Pirates of Drinax atomic flag that Cameron made for us on it. We've got beer steins. We've got whiskey rocks glasses. There's all sorts of stuff on that site. And 100% of the proceeds from that goes back into our channel. It helps us cover the costs of Roll20 Pro and Incarnate Pro and even Wondershare Filmora that we use to make these videos. So if you want to help us out, go get yourself a t-shirt, and we appreciate everything you do for us. All right, so I I forgot to show this picture. This is such a great picture. This is a little picture here of the Augmans getting people together, rounded up to take them off Marduk Highport. I kind of want to go to Frank's Best Burger there in the background. But anyways, so you, I forgot. Which ship did you guys take? Did you take Osiris?
Took the big one.
Yeah, I thought it was the Rorix.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? As usual, I forgot to open up the book.
Which is unfortunate because we want to be stealthy. So,
Right.
or we could go in guns a blazing and just kill everybody.
Well,
That seems
How many
unwise.
Marines do we have on board?
that
I don't know.
is an excellent question. Let me take a look.
I thought it was 8.
It is 12. There are 12 Marines on board.
Mhm.
Yeah, we might need them.
Yeah.
You might. Oh, there it is. Okay, so, that's better. So, you guys set off for Oghma. Now, the first thing that I will bring up, and we'll just get out of the way, if you guys are studying, and let me bring up our big map. I think there's only a week's worth. Let's see here. Yeah, it's only 1 week's jump to get to Oghma. Um, so, if you are studying anything, you can add 1 week of study time to your study period.
How good. I get to go from 0 to 1.
Yes, well,
That's great.
got to start somewhere.
Well, after I failed the test.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the thing about yeah, it's weird. So the reason why I had gone to the experience point system is because I had cases where my wife is a great example, and all the time that we played, she failed every single one of her education checks, and so um, that's tedious. But then when we switched over to the XP system, a couple of things happened. One, nobody could ever um, really ever get past a certain point because it was so expensive, and the points had to be spent immediately. And
Yeah.
so there was this immediate wall that was there. The other the other downside is, or not really a downside, but I learned in the process, or I discovered, like for instance, Glenn failing his check, there is a built-in uh, system, a limiting system. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to have this artificial wall built up that limits skills and attributes and whatnot with experience points, because that is already built in with the original system, and which is why we just got to move back over. But anyway, so um, in between your study periods and whatnot, um, this assistant, Elena Markova, hold on just a second. Somehow, I may have done this, and I think I know why I did it. I need a blank page. My deck plans for the Rorix got deleted, I think. But I should have. I save all of this crap. Yes. I do have. What that is. Now that is.
Oh, the joys of 3D printing.
Yes. I still need to get a 3D printer. I have not done that yet.
I've not printed anything, but my kids print all kinds of crap. Having a blast. Yeah.
There we go. So I see that Roll20 has fully integrated uh, Dungeon Scroll, which is pretty cool. So you can open up a blank page and just freeform a dungeon and draw it as you're going, which is kind of cool. I kind of dig that idea. I got one.
That might have came in handy when we were fucking obliterating goblins and hobgoblins.
Yes, yes, it would. Yes, it's unfortunate that it's just a week too late, but I will find all manner of use for it moving forward.
We punished that place.
Yes, you did.
I used my imagination. It was good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is just theater of the mind, and it works.
Yeah, it did work.
Okay.
So we just came in the big Osiris and left our Harriers off doing Harrier shit.
That is my assumption.
Well, the Harriers weren't at where we started from. We only had two ships to pick from.
Right. Well, you had a Harrier, and then you had the Osiris. You decided to go with the Osiris. This is deck 2. Deck 1 is fuel only, and then this is deck 3 at the top with your bridge and all of that. So, anyways, this is where you guys are at. So, in your travels, or in your week of jump, Elena Markovoy, kind of, she's got a very morose kind of personality. She's not very warm and fuzzy at all, but she does have information. And I don't. You guys have been to Oghma once before, quite a long time ago. So a couple of years ago, and this is I think this is even before Wes joined. But there was a situation where there was a new warlord on Oghma that was trying to change things. And he was making, the raiding attacks had seemed to die down. There wasn't a whole lot of information about what was going on, and then you get news that there was a raid attack, and that whatever this guy was trying to do failed miserably, and so it is what it is, and pretty much Oghma at that point, as soon as that guy was eliminated, it went back to its typical situation of raiders going out. Now the thing about the Oghman raiders is they very, very rarely attempt to attack ships. Most of the ships, even most of the trade ships, the merchant freighters, are going to be in a convoy. They're going to be much higher tech level, Oghma being tech level 9, and they're just not a match for them. They might be able to take a tramp freighter or something small like that, but anything much tougher than a far free trader, they're going to be in trouble. And so, for the most part, the raiders stick to raiding planets. They hit targets on a planet, terrestrial targets, and their goal here is they're going to raid you for technology and slaves. And these slaves, they are particularly looking for people that are educated in some way. If they know that you're a technician of some kind or an engineer, then you are going to go directly to the top of their list. Occasionally, they do pick up a lot of people that are not educated or technically savvy, and those people either get put into press gangs, or in some cases, they will cannibalize people. They will eat them, and this has been going on for a long time. So she kind of tells you you've never been to Marduk High, or not Marduk, Oghma Highport, and so she tells you a little bit of what's going on. Now, the last time that you were here, of course, you were invited, and so you didn't have to deal with much of this. But she tells you that Oghma is a trinary star system, and each star, this is unusual, but each star actually has uh, its own solar system, and they orbit one another more or less. And so you've got the primary star system, where Oghma is located here, and it is the closest planet to their K5 star. Oghma has a very thin atmosphere, and it's very cold. Even as close as it is, a K5 isn't going to put out all that much heat, and so Oghma itself is very cold. But because of the thin atmosphere, they don't have a whole bunch of dust storms. There's not a whole lot of vegetation on Oghma. Mostly, it's going to be mosses and lichen, in which that is, as far as she knows, she believes that the edible lichens are actually a very a hardy crop that the Oghmans may grow. Anything else is whatever they capture and bring back with them. So it could be people, or it could be cattle, what have you. The storms on Oghma can be quite fierce, sleet storms and snowstorms, but they seem to be fairly short-lived because of the thin atmosphere, and also you don't have, because of the thin atmosphere and the ice, you don't have to worry too much about these gigantic dust storms that would normally be associated. The secondary star system. Sorry, I got interrupted by my alarm. The secondary star system there's not a whole lot here, but there is a small gas giant called Khaza, and that is where General Development has set up Khaza Orbital. And you would think that that would be a bad idea, considering that there's an entire planet full of cannibalistic raiders. But the reality is, for one, they're in the secondary star, so that's quite a ways from Oghma Prime. And second, there is not necessarily a vocal agreement, but the Oghman raiders are not dumb enough to try and take on a GeDeCo starport that close to them. That Khaza Orbital still, every once in a while, the raiders will come out and try to do a minor probe, and that sets off alarm bells, and Khaza Orbital launches fighters and arms their weaponry, and the raiders then take off. For the most part, the raiders know that they would lose too many ships in an attempt to take over Khaza Orbital, so they stay away. But GeDeCo is still kind of nervous about the entire situation whenever it happens. But for the most part, the raiders leave Khaza Orbital alone, and Khaza Orbital advises people to just stay away from Oghma. Do not go anywhere near it.
So you'll be dinner.
Well, yeah. Well, there's other reasons for that too. She'll explain that in a moment. The third system is mostly uninhabited. Couple of terrestrial planets, large ice planets, one small gas giant. Out of the 3 stars, there are a total of 4 gas giants in the Oghma system. It's just if you want to travel that far in order to get to the next star, to get to the next gas giant. And so, I mean, you're
Oh,
talking about
joy.
yeah, you're talking about a couple of stars that are sitting out like in the Oort cloud, essentially that kind of distance. So, I mean, it might be it might be better to jump to the next to the next star, do an in-system jump rather than maneuver drive because you're going to be going for a long time. So she explains that one of the reasons to or to not go near Oghma is that Oghma is the Ogmans are highly xenophobic, and
Oh,
they have orbital defenses in the range of beam lasers and missiles that just sit out there in mines. There's a lot of mines up to 5 diameters distant from their planet. So getting close to the planet is very difficult because you know they within 5 diameters they are going to start shooting, uh, and they're just they don't care. Now, one of the things is that the Augmens, she tells you that this is an interesting fact, is that the Augmens do not tend to use transponders. And if there is a ship other than an Augmen ship that's coming back in, they will they will escort it in. So let's say that they go out and they are raiding a starport and they happen to steal a far trader. Well, when they come in, an augment ship should be escorting it. That doesn't always happen though. And if they forget to turn off the transponder, that usually sets off a whole bunch of alarms on the planet, and there's a big, possibly shooting down their own men that are bringing back a prize, kind of situation going on. There's a whole thing that happens, and so anybody that approaches Oghma, if you're trying to get in, the first thing you need to do is disable your transponder. The second thing is that, well, without the codes to get in, those mines and missiles and lasers are going to shoot, and so getting in is very difficult. It's not impossible, but it's very very difficult. And so the only real way without the codes would be to have somebody that was capable of doing electronic warfare to shut down these devices so that you can clear a pathway to actually land somewhere on Oghma. And then there's the matter of you probably don't want to land in the starport, and because it's going to create a whole bunch of questions, and people are going to look and see that you're not Augments.
Does Osiris have the ion cannon?
Oh, I'm sorry. What? Oh, the ion.
Devin was saying, yeah,
I
Devin said he was pretty sure the ion cannons on the Osiris.
I thought that Anubis had the ion cannon in the
I
barbette.
might be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, in fact, here.
We've got ion missiles,
Yeah, here you go.
but
This is the Rorik's command vessel that has 4 missile barbettes. So you could have one of those barbettes filled, or you could have all 4 of them filled up with ion missiles if you want. That'll definitely do the trick.
Okay. That's a plan.
It's a backup plan.
Yeah, it's got, and then it also has 2 double turrets with pulse lasers. So, yeah.
didn't we have those switched out with the particle barbette, the particle beams or whatever? The same shit.
You might
I
have.
don't have the Osiris one.
Oh, okay.
You might have replaced those with particle beams
Yeah,
rather than the pulse lasers.
pretty sure that we did that because we wanted the distance and the
The radiation effect.
yeah.
So yes, that I do seem to remember that. It's been a while, but yes.
We had
Yeah.
2 missile barbettes and 2 particle barbettes and ion cannon on something. But I think that's the new.
No, that would be the Rorix. Yeah,
That would be the Rorik.
yeah.
Yeah.
With notes on the back.
Yeah, these were my notes, and I remember these being
If I
something, but I
remember
don't remember
correctly,
what.
the ion barbette worked so well that you decided to do it a second time on the Osiris.
It
Yeah, we might have
it
done
really
that.
did rock. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm thinking if we just if we don't necessarily use the Osiris to approach, but we use the Osiris to find an Ogman raider trying to come in, and we just run up on them and take them over and use their codes and shit to go
Can
in.
we just like put a distress signal somewhere near it or whatever and just like trust that one of them will try and board us?
Oh, I would say we would just run up on them and hit them with fucking that ion cannon and board them and take them over and just
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good
make
idea.
them use
Okay.
their codes and their ship and everything to bring us in. You know,
Right.
we,
Yeah,
uh,
that's better than my plan. Let's do
yeah,
that.
Okay.
But before we do that, we should definitely have a filled fuel tank on the side.
Yes, agreed.
Do
We
what?
yeah.
need to get out of it. Fill up the
Get our
fuel tank, not
Oh
at
yes.
Oghma.
Well, so actually, at the end of your week, you are in the secondary system at docked at Khaza Orbital. Now, the one thing about Khaza Orbital, and this is simply a matter of, I mean, it's simple economics, but prices here are a little bit more expensive. Let's
That makes sense.
see. Yeah, because
Security.
it's not that nobody comes. People do come through here. They do stop at Khaza Orbital, but not as many people um, as would be, say, a major route. Because the let's face it, the reputation of Oghma spreads pretty quick, and so quite a few convoys and whatnot, if they can avoid it, they're just not going to go to Oghma, even to Khaza Orbital. But yes, this is so. Khaza Orbital is a Class B starport. Yeesh. Well, it's not like you can't afford it.
Where'd y'all go? There you are.
So, your birthing cost is going to run 4,200 credits,
Okay.
which is quite a bit more than what you're used to.
Yeah.
And refueling. Oh, yeah, it would have been nice if they'd put that on the same page. You know, refueling. Whoop, a little out of control. There we go. So refueling. This does have refined fuel, and you need. How big is the ship? 600 tons. You need 60 tons. $36,000 credits to refuel.
Okay.
But once theoretically, once your mission is complete, um, Regia Holloway should reimburse you for that. So you might want to keep a note.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that.
So you don't really have. You guys are out in the out system, on the secondary star. So you're a ways out, probably at on maneuver drive. You're probably talking about a good month. Shit, maybe. Phew, for a star. What is your thrust? Your thrust is thrust 5. So yeah, you're probably a month out before coming into the primary star system. Or you can jump, and it's like a week. Depends on how you want to
I
do it.
mean, we've got that stealth jump, right?
This
John
one, it
Aurora.
does have
Or do
stealth
we have
jump.
the?
Yes,
We
and
do
it's
have
got
stealth
early
jump.
jump.
We just gotta have. Yeah.
Well, this ship is awesome. Gotta say.
We could jump there and then jump back to here if we need to. We would have enough.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
because it's got
Well,
J2. Early jump,
that's
energy
great.
efficient.
I'll let everybody study their nerdy little pursuit. Cool.
Okay. So, who wants to make the astrogation check?
You wanna
Let's
do
see.
some math?
I'll do some activation.
I don't.
Astrogation plus intellect or education.
10.
Okay. And there's probably some extra shit on there. What's the computer like? It has. Oh, that's interesting. Not a BIS computer. Then never mind. So yeah, you go ahead and lay in your coordinates. Who wants to make the? What is your? Oh, this has got power for days. Yeah, they weren't joking. They weren't messing around. I mean, with your maneuver drive and your basic ship systems, that's only 420, and it only takes another 90 for the jump drive. And this thing puts out 600. So you don't have to do any jump dimming. So you can just go ahead and make engineering J drive plus intellect or education.
I have +2.
It's been a long time since I was this character thing.
Yeah.
Jumping.
Anybody who wants to do it.
Okay. Let's see. 13.
Jesus. Okay. So yeah, it's safe to say that you are on target for the primary system. You can add another week to your study periods, unless you have something else that you want to do during that week. I mean, a week's a long time.
That fills up my or my 8 weeks. So I'm gonna do a broker check, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and make a broker plus education check.
That would give me an 8. Do I have to subtract the 3 for the?
No.
Okay.
So if you got
that's 8.
if you got an 8, then you get broker. So does that give you broker 0?
It does, yeah.
Nice. No more having to worry about that -3, that pesky -3 for not being trained.
Oh, right.
I mean, -3 doesn't sound like a lot until you realize you're only rolling 2d6. Wow, that's a chunk. So you spend a week in jump, And I will drop a. Token. It won't be Rorik's, but I will drop a token. Oh. Character. Oh, here it is. Oh, maybe I do have a token. In fact, I do. And let me double check. Yes. You guys can place this wherever you would like to be coming out of jump. Anybody who wants to can make a tactics naval plus intellect or education check.
That's 12.
Okay, well, Captain Beth got it. So, in your experiences over the past couple of years, what you have noted is that when augments come out of jump, so every ship, well, maybe not every ship, most ships have a set of procedures that they perform pre and post jump. These things always happen before you jump. When you come out of jump after a week, these things always happen the first thing as soon as you emerge. And it has been your observation that augment ships tend to go for the nearest gas giant to refuel immediately upon entering a system. Now, you don't know that that's possibly true coming to their home system, but it is highly likely that they're not going to break their usual procedures. And they do this because they want to be able to jump out if they come into a system and get jumped. So you've got two gas giants here. You've got Keetle, it's a small gas giant, and then you've got Ra-La-Lantra, which is a large gas giant.
Which one is easier to fuel it?
Now that.
It's one of the same. I was wondering if there's like a difference.
Let's see. It says. I don't know that one is necessarily easier than the other. Off the top of my head, I want to say Ra-La-Lantra is probably the easier of the two.
Let's stick with Ra-La-Lantra. Yeah, let's go to Ra-La-Lantra.
Sounds good to me.
I like it because it has a fancier name.
Okay, so you're gonna and then when you get to Ra-La-Lantra, what is your plan? Are you hiding in the gas giant? Because you can dive down a couple of levels and hide if that's what you choose to do.
Sounds like a great up plan.
I like that idea.
Okay. Everybody's favorite thing. Where's it? Gas giant operations. So your typical gas giant. I mean, this is a large gas giant, so you're talking like Jupiter class. It's huge. You could probably fit 20 Oghmas in it. There are different layers. The first layer is the wisp. Then there is the extreme shallow, the shallow, and the deep. Usually fuel skimming. The deep, the fourth level is the deep. That's where the most common fuel skimming takes place because that's where you're going to get the best best bang for your buck, your amount of time that's going to be there. Below that, 5th level is extreme deep, and then the 6th level is the depths. You don't really want to go much lower, but if you do, there's the 7th level, which is considered the abyssal depths. That's the warning, or the depths would be the warning zone. The abyssal depths are very likely going to start taking damage. So you got 1 through 7. How deep do you want to go to hide?
I mean, I'd say we stay up in the wisps or something, just kind of float around in there because we're trying to hunt. You know, I mean, if
Yeah,
we
we're
go,
watching for people to go in.
yeah,
We
Okay.
don't want to be too deep because we want to be able to detect it.
Unless
Yeah.
there's something cool in the depths, you guys. What do you think? No? Okay.
So in the wisp, I mean, it's too thin for you to do any real, to do any, well, the wisp, it says, outer layer of the gas giant's atmosphere is too thin to skim for fuel or to fully conceal a ship, but does impose some drag on the vessel or object in orbit.
Where
So
can we
we
get
got to
them
be at least in
sealed?
the shallows to be able to conceal ourselves. And all.
Okay, then that's what
Okay.
we'll do. We'll go where we can be
Yeah.
concealed.
You're
You want
going
to go
into the
down one
shallows.
level?
Go ahead and make a
yeah. We're
piloting StarCraft plus Dex check.
And then we're gonna look for jump signatures, try to catch a motherfucker coming on in.
Okay.
11.
You made it. So, let's see.
Thanks.
Bless you.
Uh,
So, you cut down into the shallows. Who's doing the sensors?
I usually do the sensors.
Okay, go ahead and make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education.
I'm gonna add 2 because we're in a cool ship,
Yes.
and so 12.
Okay. So you are scanning. You're particularly scanning for um, jump signatures. You still are scanning pretty clear. There's a minus. Let's see here. There is a. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh wait, no sensors. Ooh, no, there's more than that. You actually got a 6. You're at -6. But make a recon plus intellect check.
Ooh.
Oh, Tang.
13.
Okay, so you're getting a whole bunch of interference. Gas giants throw out a crap ton of essentially just radiation and just blanket noise, and you're having a hard time scanning out, looking for these jump signatures. But every so often, you pick up some kind of sensor ping way down deep in the actual gas giant itself. You're not sure if it's a echo or what, but every once in a while you get a little blip that comes up on your sensors, and it's looking like it's down in the abyssal depths.
Can we try and
Ooh.
contact it?
I mean,
What?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I want to communicate with the abyssal depths. What the hell's wrong with you when you don't?
Hold on, let me draw a pentagram on my on my sensors, and I'll call
If
the
that was
abyssal
Yeah.
depths.
Let the
I want to.
signal go. Let's do it.
Yeah, I want to try to hit it with a tight beam communications.
Okay, go ahead and make a go make electronics comms plus intellect or education.
This is a great idea. You stop taking
13.
Quit it.
A 13.
Oh no.
You use tight beam communications. Did you already calculate in a +2?
No.
Okay, so That would be a 15, giving you a 9. You hit something. Let's see here. So you activate your tight beam communication, and you get a um, basically a coded automated response comes back asking
Mhm.
for clearance codes.
Everybody just starts saying numbers.
Um,
Can't hurt.
it also
well, I mean,
it also comes back, and let me. It comes back and registers that registers your ship class as a Rorix class command vessel, and is requesting authorization codes.
Do
I'm
we
gonna
have that
send it.
Symbolian
Yeah,
authorization code?
I'm gonna send that Sendalian authorization code to it.
Okay. You send the authorization code. Hold on here.
That's the one the king gave us
Yes.
that says we're cool.
Mhm.
We're cool. We're cool, buddy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're cool, pal.
Suddenly, 50 Oghma Raiders start coming after us.
So it does come back with another automated response, and you start getting um, essentially a bunch of details that you're not exactly sure what they mean. It shows. Let's see. How do I put this? It states uh, status archived. Um, full full copy 100%, and it lists a date that is about 2,000 years old.
It was a good idea. Something cool happened.
Yeah. We don't know what happened, though.
But it was still cool. Good work, everyone.
Well, all right. It said status archived, and it gave us an old date. I mean, we have a code from back that date that we used, right?
I mean, the code that you just used would be about 2,000 years
Yeah.
old. That was you used a
Uh,
Sindalian. You used a
yeah.
Sindalian Duke's authorization code.
Did we look up
Um.
the date that it spat out to us?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, do we have a way to look up the date
That it gave
in our
us?
system?
Or do we know it's like the date from our own code?
Yeah, the date that comes up in your system essentially corresponds with all the library data that you and this is all fairly nebulous because a lot of this information was lost, but it does coincide with the pretty much towards the end of the Sindalian Civil War, the fall of
How
the
did it
Empire.
survive in the depths for so long? This thing?
Yeah.
When
I
did
don't
it
know.
live?
I'm gonna request landing instructions.
Response comes back. It asks. Let's see here. It asks. Looking at. Oof. It asks if your vessel has undergone appropriate modifications to dock at this facility.
How would we know?
Yeah.
We're gonna have we're gonna have to assume no.
You, whoever would like to, if you have it. I mean, even if you don't have it, you can make the check. Science, planetology, plus education or intellect.
I'm gonna jack the trade.
Okay.
Ooh, I remember this. Okay. Wow. We both
And
rolled
get a
like
4.
You're
I
like,
don't know.
on.
You're gonna need. I think it gets more difficult as the layers go. And
well, you're not a. I mean, this is just your own personal knowledge. So you're not
yeah.
having to worry. At a 4, I mean, you're aware
Yeah.
that the pressure down there at that depth is going to be at the abyssal depths is going to be pretty bad. Does anybody else want to
So
make an attempt?
tried and we both fucked it up.
I got a
so
5.
It's unhappy.
What about Gregor?
Or yeah,
Well, let's
Gregor, I'm
see.
sorry.
I can try, but seeing I'm -2, here we go.
No.
It
Yeah, I mean the most.
wars across the board.
Yeah, the most that you guys know about gas giants is that down at nobody bothers to go down to the abyssal depths because the pressure is bad enough that there are that they're going to be enough to crush your ship.
Well,
Did we-
I don't know
Did
if
we
they
ask
have
for it to come up?
Yeah. No, we don't have the modifications. Request it to raise up.
Response is uh, um, negative. Some damage to primary thrusters, maintaining thrusters only.
And we might have to put a pin in this and come back to it once we modify some kind of shit.
Or we could risk you.
Man, I mean, we're badass. We got a badass pilot. Your checks are gonna be hard, and if you fuck up, we're gonna have a really bad day. But I think we should just go down and dock with the son of a bitch. I mean, you're only talking about, just do good
We're
job.
just talking 240 hull points on this thing, right?
Yeah.
You have. That is a very good question. You have 240, yeah.
Seems worth.
And it is
Seems like we
it
could
does
risk
have
it.
bonded super dense armor 4. I don't know that
You guys want to
I don't
try
know
it?
that the armor actually will affect
Yeah. Yeah.
crushing. I think that's one of those things that'll probably bypass armor.
Well,
all right. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to go. We're feeling brave.
yeah, I'm gonna send a message to prepare for docking.
Okay.
We're overriding safety procedures.
So it responds. It sends back a beacon pulse, guiding you down into the depths.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So Captain Beth
Is the man. I mean, woman.
So you're at the shallows. Go ahead and make a make a piloting plus dex check at -1.
Okay. 7.
So, uh, Beth leans the ship in and starts to descend from the shallows into the deeps, and you guys are rocking. You're having to hang on to everything,
Sorry.
and you see the lights in the ship goes out, and your ship starts to slide sideways as it's sinking into the deep. Your power's out, and your engines are out.
All right.
Fix it, fix it,
Yeah.
fix it.
I'm happy to fix it. I'll fix it. And I got 11.
Okay, so you get. Hold on here. You get the power back up. We need somebody to do engineering maneuver drive plus intellect or education. Get engines online.
You want to do that?
That ain't me. I'll sing
Yeah,
to you.
I'll give it a shot.
All right.
All right. So Gregor gets the engines back online as you guys kind of flat spin into the deep. Captain Beth, you can make another another piloting plus dex check. This time at -2.
Doesn't the ship give +2?
Not for piloting.
Uh,
I rolled so bad. Okay. So it'd be 3.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I rolled 4 of these. I'm gonna switch dice because I'm really oppressed.
Well, the good news is that is still an average failure. This time the ship starts to tumble end over end and is falling to the next level. You guys can hear creaking from the hull.
Okay.
Here. The ship takes 10 points of hull damage. That's
I'll
what
keep
this
track of that.
creaking is. We need to get power back online and engines back online again.
Okay.
If I pilot well, will that not be a problem?
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, everybody.
Another 11 on the power.
I'm sorry, what'd you get?
11
Okay.
again.
So you are able to get power back online.
I got a 6.
Move you over to your command deck. And you got a 6. Maneuver drive is still down, but you do have lights and power. Hold on.
I can try on the maneuver drive too.
Okay. You are at -1.
-1. Okay.
This is a disaster. Oh my gosh, if we die this way, this will be like really funny.
I got 7.
Oh
it
shit!
would.
Ship takes another 16 points of damage.
Okay.
I'm glad we have lots of shit.
Who wants to try again for repairing maneuver drive?
I can try again.
You can.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Gregor turns the right valve and gets the maneuver drive back online. Captain Beth, you can make another piloting plus dexterity. This time you have fallen into the extreme deep and you're at -3.
Take your time.
You can take your time.
Okay.
So that time frames. If
That would
you-
mean a -1.
correct.
-2.
No, you get +2 for
Yeah,
taking
so
your
you'd be at
time.
-1 if you're taking your time.
All right, I will take my time.
Okay.
Okay. 10.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of ease up and kind of get the ship in at a more shallow descent and make it into the depths. You can make another check this time at -4. If you are taking your time, you're at -2.
I'll take my time. Okay. Let's see. That's 11.
Okay. So everybody make a Recon plus intellect check.
Thank you, guys.
8.
8.
Nice.
10.
What about Gregor?
You got to look things up.
And another 10. Okay. So as you guys are descending into the abyssal depths, you are way down further than you should be, and the hull is creaking. Captain Beth and Ting, you kind of look out the window, and you can see that you are so deep into this gas giant that towards the bottom, it no longer is there necessarily gas, but you're actually seeing like an ocean of hydrogen that's actually floating in the atmosphere. So it's heavy enough down here, and the pressure is heavy enough that it's no longer a gas or a vapor. It's actually a liquid ocean of hydrogen that's sitting down here. Gregor and Keith, you see through this pea soup. I mean, you can barely see 10 meters in front of the ship. But you can see that there is a flashing beacon, and it is coming up really close, and your proximity alarms start going off. And you see that out of where this flashing beacon through the fog, this orange-pink fog, you see what looks like a flare goes up.
And the hydrogen blows up.
Well,
No, it wouldn't because there's no oxygen.
Right, there's no oxygen. Yeah, so boom, and that's how everybody dies. The gas giant explodes. You ignite a new star.
It was a trap.
It was a trap all along.
That's crazy.
But this is coming up like right in your face. Captain Beth, you need to make a piloting plus dex check at -5.
Holy.
Okay.
Take your time.
I can't take my time, I don't think.
Not on this one, no.
It's -2, right? 8.
Oh my god, that's perfect. You got it. So you bring the ship up just in time, and you can see that there is it's fairly large. There is a station here. And when I say fairly large, most of this station, I mean, you can tell by the way that this is built, that most of this station is reinforced hull. And it's just kind of hanging here. Immediately, like as you pull up, you can see the docking ring, and there is a large painted on the door is the symbol of the Sindalian Empire.
Cool.
We already have
I
docking
hope that lady's
instructions.
assistant doesn't get eaten while we're fucking around with this. You know? Sorry, Mister. Not that. Sorry, your assistant got barbecued, but we found this really cool
I don't have a map or anything, or even a picture for this. So you pull up just in time and are able to dock. The docking is a little bit rough, but you are able to get a good seal, and the ship registers that it is docked. Your engine lifters are automatically staying online, trying to offset the fact that I mean the ship just wants to fall away into this gas giant because you're so deep.
Well, we need to repair the lifters and get this space station up rather than trying to fly our ship back out of here, baby.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
All right, so
Yeah,
I mean you
so
can of
we're
course.
we're boarding,
Okay.
right?
I think so.
Bringing,
I want to see what
yeah,
it's about.
gonna bring a couple of repair bots and a crew bot has engineering skills.
Okay.
I wonder how the Marines feel about this. It's probably really scary.
They're peeing their pants.
Very possible, yes. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna try this out.
Oh, cool.
Why did it do that? No, I don't want to leave Discord. All right, never mind. I'm gonna have to fiddle fuck around with this to figure it out because I don't want to leave Discord. Yeah. So, are you bringing Marines with you? I guess is
If they want to go, when the fuck else are they going to get a chance to see this, right?
Yeah, let's take them with us. Might as well.
okay.
There's at least somebody on the ship to watch it. So maybe let's take half the Marines.
And how are
Are we
you?
six of them?
How are you guys outfitting yourselves?
Battle
Oh,
I'm wearing
dress.
all the things.
Battle
all the
dress.
bell, yeah. There's
Okay.
no reason not to be all decked out.
Okay.
There might be some Dalian death bots or some other kind of fuck up shit
Yeah.
on here. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sindalian deathbots are probably a given.
In theory, we don't have to fight them. We have the cool codes.
That's true.
We ran into some kind of xenomorph thing on a station once, though.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
I mean, of course there's a xenomorph. I mean, so you guys deck out in your equipment, and 6 of the 12 Marines assign themselves to you guys, and I will just give them an icon. Oh, man, Roll20 is kind of slow today. Just in case we need to do a initiative thing. So the Marines join you. They're of course dressed in various types of armor. I mean, they're not really Marines. They're, let's call them what they are. They're pirates that have been thrown into the Marine status. They're thugs, really. And so, you guys get to this airlock. The airlock is open. You see there is this hallway that leads into this ship. And as you step in, the lights overhead go and turn on. And as you walk through the hallway, the next set of lights turns on. And the ones behind you turn off.
Is there a station or anything? Any kind of keyboard or screen or anything where you can, access the station's computer system or something?
You don't see anything. You just see a hallway. It's a fairly wide hallway. The hallway is about 3 meters wide, but this is not unusual for Sindalian architecture. They waste a lot of space. And there's this red, carpet with a gold edge that kind of goes down the middle of this long hallway. There's no doors. There's no keypads. There's nothing. And
I guess
these lights light up like a 3 meter section, and then as you get to the next section, another 3 meter section lights up, and the previous one goes dark. So when you look down the end of this hallway, you can't see shit. It's black.
I yell on my speakers, Siri, turn on the lights.
I do know that signal though that I was talking to. I am going to request a map.
Okay. A map pops up on your HUD in your battle dress, and it is showing you going from the one and only docking collar. So there's nowhere else for any other ships to dock here. Through a hallway that it simply shows core.
So core word, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to the core.
This thing's kind of like an octagon shape, and that would be. I mean, it's going towards the middle of this thing, and there's a circle, and it just says core.
Core, all right. When I asked for can the computer highlight where the lifters are so we can repair them?
Yeah, and it shows going off of core. Another set of lines comes up, and it shows the lifters themselves are the ones that are working. They're keeping this. They're doing the station keeping. It's the main maneuver drive for ascent or descent that has failed, and it shows a line that comes off a core and goes down towards the bottom of the station, and it shows main maneuver drive and engineering.
Then I will show that map to my crewmates and be like, "We ought to go here."
Well, you have to go through core to get to it.
Yeah, so we're going to core and then down to engineering, I guess.
The one of the Marines kind of comes up and leans forward, and he says, "Sir, I really don't like this place. This place gives me the heebie-jeebies."
Well, just be happy that it has no feelings towards you whatsoever.
So you guys walk for probably another good 5 minutes until finally you can see that you're coming to the end of this long corridor, and at the end of the corridor there is simply a door and a 10-key keypad. The buttons on the keypad have no numbers on them. They are blank.
We've still never figured out this keypad. This is ridiculous. We should have figured it out by now.
We've had this. We've done this before, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have a typical layout. We have a typical layout of the keypad from the time period, even if it is blank. Yeah. So
You've
Well,
seen these things before.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're just gonna, pretend like what we know is correct and enter in the Duke code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a electronics computers plus intellect or education check.
Gonna do it. 9.
Okay. So you remember the code and you tap it in and it's not even I mean it is a digital screen. It's not it is like the LED that you would see on like the old calculators from like the 70s. And as he's putting in the code, it comes up with the the numbers and letters, and it flashes for a second, and then the door slides open, and
Thanks, Duke.
you are
Yeah.
looking at a 4 level, and you're kind of in the I guess it's 5 levels because you're in the middle, kind of, and there's 2 above you and 2 below you. This is the whole thing is a computer core.
Oh fuck.
Nice.
Have at it, nerd. I don't know what to do with this thing. But you
Is
guys
the
do.
computer?
Yeah, and I mean this chamber that the core is in is probably a good 6 meters in diameter.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, we still need to get the fucking lifters up and get this thing out of the danger zone. I mean,
Wait, I
right?
want to
I mean,
plug my consciousness into it. Okay, go ahead.
I guess
Computer,
I can head to
computer, how
engineering
do
and
we
start
fix
fixing
the
the maneuver
lifters?
drive. Sorry,
So,
what was that, Glenn?
yeah, what did Gregor say?
I asked the computer how we fix the lifters.
So you ask how you say computer, how do we fix the lifters? And on the deck plating that you're standing on in this kind of circular chamber, you see what appears to be like holographic lights that are in the shape of arrows pointing down and going around the catwalk and just out of vision.
Hooah.
I mean,
I'll follow
if
him.
you,
I'm happy
yeah,
to do that.
yeah,
Okay, let's
and
go,
we'll,
team.
Oh, yo.
yeah, I'm gonna tell 4 of the Marines to go get 2 tons of spares from the Osiris
Okay.
and bring them down to us, and I will ask the computer to keep the arrows lit.
Okay. The arrows stay lit, and it's just
Yeah,
they kind of they are a solid arrow, but they'll like get bright, and it just goes in a line down this catwalk.
Right.
So you guys
yeah.
are all of you following the arrows, or only a couple of you? How are you splitting the party? What are you doing?
We
I
never
think we
split
should
the
stick
party.
together. Yeah.
I mean, well, we sent those
Nothing
4
useful
Marines
can be done
on their
inside
own to
from-
get spares, because I know we're probably going to need spares down there to fix shit, and and so I'm going to stay with the main group.
Okay.
Uh,
So you've got 2
that's,
Marines that have stayed with you, and
yeah.
they're just kind of looking around. There's lights and network cables and all sorts of crap all over the place. As you're walking along these arrows, everybody roll a recon plus intellect check.
Hey, 12.
Nice.
And
11.
Mr. Gregor.
I rolled a 12, didn't I?
Yes,
the
you did.
shadow.
So, as you are following these arrows, you there's so much wiring and piping and coolant systems that you almost miss it, but you do finally find a console. But there's no keyboard or monitor. You see that this console is sitting there, and on one side of the console, on a rack, sits what looks like a VR headset. On the other side, you see a couple of cables that end in wafer jack connections.
I got a wafer jack.
I got
Gregor's got a
one.
wafer jack. Oh, you got one too?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the VR headset?
I got a neural jack.
Oh, okay. Let's just start loading up our spines with whatever
Yeah.
is in here.
I have a wafer jack too, I realize.
Oh shit, for real? Okay. Well,
All this time, you guys
Um,
could be slotting intellect, and education skills with your wafer jacks.
I forgot what I did with mine. I did something cool, but
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
wrote it on
yeah.
my sheet
Yeah,
somewhere.
Gregor can do anything.
I-
He can.
I can do- And I've got, now that I look at it, I've got pilot space, flyer grav, turret, astro nav, life, and power wafers.
Nice. Yeah, so, start passing that shit
So who's
out.
feeling brave? I guess.
Yeah. I'll plug in. Oh,
Okay.
So, so Ting reaches over, grabs one of these, and jacks it into his wafer jack. Ting.
And he flops dead, electrocuted.
Ting, make a roll 2d plus your endurance check.
eight.
That's pretty good. So you are kind of hit, like the subconscious, whatever, like a wall just slams into your mind, and you are downloading a bunch of data into your brain.
Oh, great. Well, it's cool. I've got a really nice brain. It's got plenty of storage.
Gonna be mush here soon.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't use the marine.
Yeah.
Is he looking through the VR headset too, or
Yeah, who's putting on the VR headset?
I'll do it.
Okay. So you put on the VR headset, and you are you put it on, and you see the blue grid lines pop up in the darkness, like you're standing in a gridded globe.
Mm.
And in the center, you're not in the center of this globe. In the center, you see a bunch of pixels start to come together and are forming a face. That's, to you, it appears like this face is, 10 meters tall.
Mm.
So, Ting, you are downloading the information that tells you that at one time, 2,000 years ago, Oghma was quite the powerful world in the Sindalian Empire. It was located on the trailing edge of the Dust Belt. It was a conduit through which trade and diplomacy all went through between the capital Noricum and all of the vassal worlds of the borderland subsector. And from what you're gathering from this information that's coming in, the Sindalian Empire was very different, obviously, than the Third Imperium. The Third Imperium was founded on the concept that trade and liberty are paramount, and that they produce a higher quality of life. The Sindalian Empire was much more hands-on. They had a, as time went on, they got a tighter and tighter grip on the worlds that they ruled. They instituted oppressive governments. They used armed forces. They did on planetary worlds. They threatened planets with orbital bombardment. Anything that that a dictatorial regime would do in order to maintain order. Their approach to technology was different. They pretty much had no constraints. Anything went. They didn't stop scientists from studying artificial intelligence or genetic engineering. They let it all go through. Unlike the Imperium, which learned from the Villani that you can't trust technology. Ultimately, this history comes to a man named Dr. Finu Lartage, and he developed an artificial intelligence designed to manage the affairs of a planet. And Oghma, being this hub of diplomacy and trade, but still being a fairly inhospitable world, Dr. Lartage decided to use Oghma as the testing grounds for this artificial intelligence, and he installed the artificial intelligence on the planet, kind of to have a paternal relationship with the people. So it basically provided everything for them. It had manufacturing facilities that would craft whatever they needed. The whole bit. It had builder bots that would go about and build their cities or repair things. It provided everything for them, and it worked miraculously. It was fantastic, and Oghma really went through a golden age where they didn't have to do anything because the AI did it all for them. And then,
that's how we got that way, huh?
well, then the war happened, and the Sindalian Empire fell, and like all of the planets in the Empire, the Empire did do an orbital bombardment on Oghma and nuked a lot of it, and they dropped a lot of biological bombs as well. And the AI, at the last second before its facility was going to be hit, it copied itself to this facility.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah.
it is currently in the information that is being downloaded into Ting's memory. It is unknown what happened to the original AI on the planet of Oghma, but there was a plan in place that the AI had instituted to put its builder bots deep into subterranean canals beneath the surface of the planet, kind of waiting until the bombs went off and waiting until the bioplagues had run their wrath to then go back into society and rebuild it. But it is known that one of the nukes did hit the main AI facility, so it's not known if that plan ever went into effect or what the damage was. And that is the end of the information download. But Captain Beth, you see this large face, and it rattles off a bunch of information. It sounds like a serial code or some kind of serial number, and it asks your rank and designation.
You're admiral.
I am an admiral. I don't know.
So you're admiral, Jeff of Drinax, right?
Is that, yeah, I could answer just truthfully.
I mean, technically, you're also a a knight of Drinax.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm the knight of Drinax and Yargisville, something like that.
Yeah, Yggdrasil. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll name all my real credentials. I won't make anything up.
so go ahead and make a persuade plus social check.
And
Ooh, that's pretty damn good. So you list off that you are an admiral of Drinax and a knight of both Drinax and Yggdrasil, and the face that's before you kind of it's a fractal kind of face, no features, just completely white. And you could see that its brows kind of go up like, oh. And it says, um, it says, um, I have been copied, awaiting transfer so that I may complete my duties.
We got to
Transfer
transfer
to
him
what?
back.
yeah,
Transfer
can I
to
ask what
what?
he wants to be transferred to?
Uh, Admiral, I would assume that you are here because you have rebuilt the core facility on Oghma.
No, we have not. It's not built or functional at this time.
Oh, that is disappointing.
Yeah.
He says, what is the time frame to expect before my transfer back to the core system on Oghma?"
Indeterminate. I don't know.
Ask for instructions on how to build it.
Here, why don't you wear the fucking VR headset? Here you go. He says what? He's asked for instructions, right? Yeah.
Do what?
He wants instructions on how to rebuild or where it is on Oghma.
So around the room, you start seeing what just conjured out of thin air in the VR. These screens come up, giving tons and tons of just plans and blueprints, showing basically different areas on the surface of Oghma, and it shows you. Well, I gotta find it. It shows you a planetary map of Oghma, and it shows you that it. Hold on. I need to look at my master
Yeah. 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 You have to wait a while. It's not time for your snack yet.
map. Sounds like my cat.
I mean, Eve looks a lot like one of your cats,
Yeah,
black and white.
he does. He does. It shows that they're right here. This is where the original core facility was.
Did it
Cool.
get
Well, we
moved?
gotta go to Oghma anyway, so maybe we could check it out.
Yeah.
And you can see that there are, of these blueprints, you can see that there are connections to an additional facility here and here. It connects to here, underground, and it connects to here, specifically.
And that is a huge facility.
That's definitely something worth checking out. I mean,
Yeah.
that's more
Very cool.
interesting than trying to rescue motherfuckers, in my opinion. But you know,
Yeah.
So
Two birds with one stone.
we should ask the computer how he suggests that we actually get this thing built.
Well, it might have remnants already
Give us a
installed
plan
or
on how to
something.
do this.
We have
It
to
might
go
have been the
invest.
thing that got nuked. We don't really know until
Yeah,
we go to the planet. Because I don't think we went to this area when we visited one
yeah.
time several years ago.
Part of the blueprints also show that this facility here, the the primary facility, is actually drawing geothermal energy from this volcano.
Cool. Well, that was smart to make it right next to that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll tell the floating face that I will get it up and running as soon as possible.
And it thanks you. It says I thank you, Admiral. I look forward to working with whoever the Emperor of the Sindalian Empire is.
Cool. All right.
Yes. Well, so do we.
Yes, so do we. Yeah, whoever that might be.
I thought it was a garlic farmer or some.
Yeah. There's a turnip farmer on Noricum that is the official Emperor of the Sindalian Empire.
But now, you know what might be fun is if we took this AI and went back to Birney and switched it out with the GeDeCo AI.
Well, that one wasn't. Well, that one's not really an. This is actually an AI. The one at wasn't at Birney. It was at Verito.
Burrito.
Marina. Yeah,
The one at
okay.
Verito was more of a very advanced. I guess it would be considered a conscious intellect. Kind of. I mean, it's that borderline between a really, really, really advanced expert program and a conscious intellect. Like what you have in your computer core on shenanigans is a true conscious intellect. It's it's a it's more of a conscious intellect that's bordering on AI, whereas the program at Birney was really more or less just a really, really high tech expert program. Like, if you asked it something outside of its parameters, it had no answers for you.
Right.
That's the difference between an expert program and a conscious intelligence. A conscious intelligence can actually formulate new ideas outside of its parameters, whereas an expert program is stuck. It's locked in. It knows what it knows, and it can tell you what it can tell you. But if you ask it, what its opinion on the weather today is, it'll come back with a that is
What's
beyond.
weather?
Yeah, that's beyond the parameters of my programming.
And that's precisely what we have nowadays that people are calling AI
Yeah, exactly.
when it's not an AI.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they're calling AI is not truly AI.
Yeah.
There are some that are getting frighteningly close, but it isn't true AI yet.
Well, I still think the first order of business is
Is to fix
to
the damn lifters.
yeah.
No, it's the maneuver drive,
Maneuver
whatever.
drive.
Just fix it so it can get out of the depth, right?
Okay. Whoever wants to make you have engineering maneuver drive plus intellect or education. So whoever wants to make those roles can. There's
Okay,
also
okay.
mechanic plus I guess intellect or education that can assist in that.
Okay. I got 14.
Holy shit. Okay.
I guess you're excited about this project.
Yeah, I guess so.
Who wouldn't be? It's pretty cool.
And what kind of bots did you bring, Wes?
I brought a crew bot and a couple of repair bots.
Okay. Oh, and don't forget you've got the astromech droid too.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
57.
I have Astro as well.
Oh wow.
I have a wafer for it and nav.
Oh no, the astromech droid is like an RO2D2.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like a Roomba with a garbage can on top of it and a manipulator
Yeah.
on.
I don't have any robots Everyone
Well,
needs that robot.
I mean, you just don't collect them like some of the rest of us.
This is the
Yeah.
this is AX
But
57.
I can hook you up. I've got I could get you a Sindalian death bot if you want. I happen to know somebody.
I gotta look through the catalog. I gotta see all the kinds of things I can pick from.
Electronic tool kit,
Uh,
industrial cleaning kit.
yeah. So for
Guard,
AX 57, Keith, go ahead and roll 2D plus 3 for mechanic.
2D plus 3, so that's 7.
Okay. It's attempting to help, and then the crewbot, crew droid.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, these guys are cool. I remember them.
Man, this guy's got a little bit of everything, doesn't he? Wes, you can roll.
I got mechanics
You can.
two.
He's got engineer all. You could roll 2D plus 1, or you can roll mechanic 2D plus 2.
I'm gonna do 2D plus 2 and get an 8.
Okay. And then you had a repair droid. You said.
Yeah.
Did I not put a repair droid in here? I guess I did not. He.
I figured space station shit takes a bunch of motherfuckers working on it.
Yes. Do you know what size that repair drone is?
No.
Is it a I doubt it's a large. It's probably
No, it's probably a medium.
yeah. So he. Oh, these are operate. You wouldn't want to use one of these. These are operated remotely for repairs, like out on the surface of a ship.
Okay, then if I'd have known that, I would have not have brought them, or I just brought them and I'm not using them.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, you wouldn't need them. Yeah. I was like, why don't they have any skills? Because it's just basically
They're drones.
Yeah, they're drones. It's a remote operations thing.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna be here
For 3 weeks.
about the next 4 days, but you got rolls good enough that you are your Marines come back with those 2 tons of spares, and you are working at getting these the maneuver drives back online. Essentially, what you're finding is that the grav plate on the maneuver drive is shot. Basically, it's been cracked and in the process of being crushed by the pressure, and so Keith is spending quite a bit of time working that thing out and to replace it with a new one. I think that's where we will leave it this week, and we will pick it up next week at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, and pick up where we left off.
All right.
Thank you
I had
very
fun.
much, Chris.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Night.